Welcome to Liquid Lunch. Coming at you live. It's almost the end of October, Sandra.
Ooh.
You hear how our voices sound in the room?
Yes, it's because it's the end of October.
No, it's good.
Ah, it's gone.
What? No, it's not
The
gone.
hollow sound. I like it to sound like we're in a pumpkin or something.
Why a pumpkin?
This hollow
Is it just
pumpkin.
because it's this time of year? You've never even carved a jack-o'-lantern in
I
your life.
know.
I can't believe that.
know.
Here, watch it. Watch your
Oh,
hair.
okay.
Get on the mic.
Okay. But I ate pumpkin seeds. Does that count?
No.
I helped to clean them and to roast them and add salt on them. Does that count?
Yeah.
No?
I don't think so. Well, it helps if you, because when you make the jack-o'-lantern, right, you save every year. I used to save the seeds because I said, okay, next year I'm planting my own pumpkin and going to grow my own jack-o'-lantern.
So how long would it take to actually do that, to grow a pumpkin?
Well, it takes a long time because I grew one year and I only got one pumpkin and it was only this big and it took over the whole yard and the pumpkin was maybe that big. One pumpkin and it took over the whole yard.
Your yard was pretty small.
No, it was a big pumpkin. You try it.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
It would probably come out as some sort of, I don't know, new kind of pumpkin.
Okay.
It would be in the shape of an alien. Do we have any alien videos today?
Listen, when you carve a jack-o'-lantern, you can make it go any way you want. Do we have alien videos? Of course we have alien videos.
Of course we do. I knew we
We've
would.
got some new video of the Obama's shape-shifting bodyguard, the reptilian hybrid.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
And we know it's true because it's YouTube.
That's right.
Yes.
Also, apparently, Google is trying to snatch and control your
I
DNA.
heard about that.
You did?
They're
What did
starting
you
to
hear
get
about
into biomedical or biotechnology and all.
Yeah.
Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's because they're amazing at keeping records. So it's all about collection of data. Is that correct?
That's why they want your cell phone number, because they can change your DNA with cell phone radiation.
Wow.
Yeah, they're developing the algorithm for it right now.
Wow.
It's true. We got video coming up
Okay,
later
well.
in the show. Though.
So if we change our cell phone number around, does that change our DNA too?
Well, you keep Google guessing, but their algorithms are so good that they'll catch up sooner or later. Because even if you don't give them your cell phone number, somebody else is putting your cell phone number in their cell phone, and Google just triangulates all that information and changes your DNA.
Can they bring world peace through that?
World peace through suppressing all human values.
That's not world peace.
Yes, it is. That's why we
That's
support
another
it
discussion.
here at ThatChannel.
Hey, you know who was on The Current on CBC this morning?
No.
Alan Greenspan.
Uh-huh. What did he have to say? Is he
Okay.
back to playing the clarinet again? That's what he did before he worked for the Fed.
Actually, he was talking. He's got a new book out, and I didn't get the interview, so I have to go back and listen. But a friend called me and said he was talking about how the old way of doing the whole money system is no good. He was talking about actual consciousness and animal spirits. Yes. So I want to invite him to the next cat shelter building workshop.
I'll tell you, I would love to have him on the show.
think he'll come?
No.
We should have him on the show.
You should
Let's
get
Skype
him
them.
to take some of those FEMA coffins and divert them to your cat shelter program.
Yeah.
Because I think he was involved in ordering the FEMA coffins in the first place.
No, it was Obama's shape-shifting guard who did that. So wait a second. Nikki is in the house.
Nikki is in the house.
Let's see if Nikki can get us a Skype interview with Alan Greenspan to promote his book.
Oh, she's on it right now. Okay, so stay tuned, folks. It could happen in this 2-hour period of this Liquid
You
Lunch.
never know.
Okay, let's get busy with the
Okay.
show, shall we? Okay.
Sounds good.
We've got Alan Raymond coming on the show, trap, rack, and rock artist. I don't know what that means, trap artist, but we're going to find out.
Trap, rack, and
Maybe he's out
rock,
there,
rap and rock.
You're from Sudbury.
Trapeze?
Trapping, trapping out in the winter. You trap well, you wouldn't be into that.
What do you trap?
You trap beaver.
How does that work with rap?
Well, it might have a different meaning in the rap world.
Okay, let's give him the benefit of the doubt before we criticize any trapping and hunting.
They're nice guys. We're going to have them on in just a couple of minutes. Also, DT the artist is in the house, and we're looking forward to having him back on the show.
He is the best dressed artist.
Isn't he?
Wow.
I know.
He's wearing an amazing purple shirt.
And
He
also,
must be all about love. Because purple's all the whole spirituality
that's
thing.
why our logo's purple.
Wow. Really?
You didn't know that?
No. Wow. Oh, isn't that neat?
That's why our faces are purple too. Because yeah.
And the table looks kind of purple. It's not really
Everything's
though.
purple.
It's all an illusion.
Also, Morav Richter will be here.
She's
the show
amazing.
today.
A talented writer.
I should say we got a big event tonight live on that channel as well.
What's going on?
It's called Toronto Talks. John Klotz is going to be here
Oh.
with speakers in the house.
Nice.
And it's going to be a great beginning of a whole
What's
new
the
thing.
topic? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
The
Have to
speaker's
tune
name
in.
is Don Frail. That's all I can say. So that's going to be tonight.
What time?
At 7 o'clock.
Awesome.
Live. here
Awesome,
on that
awesome.
channel.
He's
So-
really cool, John.
Let's start the show. We've got a video by Alan Raymond. We're going to come back with Alan and his producer, and Liquid Lunch is underway. We'll be right back.
Oh, go on and tell me your secret. Show me your ghost. Well, let out your skeleton. No, you're a bag of bones. Oh, I got my weapon, my heart of gold. Well, I'll fight your battle, but I won't fight it alone. No. And I go to war for you. I risk it all for you. Yeah, I go to hell and back for you. Hell or high water. Oh, well, I go to war for you. I risk it all for you. And I go to hell and back for you. Yeah, hell or high water. Yeah, go on and gather your weapons, your sword in the stone. We'll fight all your demons there, rattle your bones. Yeah, tell me your weakness, I'll give you my strength. Well, fuck all your demons, I'll help you bury your shame. Oh, 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 oh. And I go to war for you. I risk it all for you. Yeah, I go to hell and back for you. Hell or high water. Oh, well, I go to war for you. I risk it all for you. And I go to hell and back for you. Hell or high water. Yeah. I'ma fall back on the hopeless brats who got the phone numbers but they won't call back. Fuck that. I'ma start a whole new battle for the unsung heroes who never set traps, never talk shit, yeah they never act whack, yeah they always stay true. This is just my theory, but my evidence backs and I'm coming for you. Yeah, I'm gunning for yeah you. Fuck that, I ain't waiting on the day when they won't see Brayman. Understand I'm an understatement. Me and my crew stay locked in the basement. When the fox and the fiddle drops drunk bass lines and the whole crowd goes as obnoxious face it. Doesn't give you the right to drop stupid lines or do white lines in the bathroom, just waste it. Look bro, you're unoriginal, yeah, everything you do is just copy paste it. Goes far for what though somehow it's so damn basic. Oblivious to the situation that the place in. Gotta say it's frustrated, I'm waiting. Wait. Alright, yeah, this'll go on and you'll babble on and she'll lead you on cause to her you're tasteless. These ruthless girls are on top for now cause somehow they fucking made it. Till then you better try harder, stand a little taller. Till then it's a fucking slaughter. Yeah, through hella high water.
That was the video. What's it called? Hell or High Water,
Hell or High Water.
right?
Really nice sound, actually.
Thank you.
Now
You
we
know,
got-
I'm sorry, go ahead.
you go.
I was going to say, when you think of that title, I'm thinking it's going to be this big, loud sound
Yeah.
with a lot of things happening, but it's actually very, very subtle, very subdued.
Right.
So it's actually not expected. I really like that about
Thank
that.
you. Yeah. No, it was cool. It was a very calm shoot too. We didn't, it wasn't over the top or anything. It was really natural how it all came together. So
Actually, it's really well done. It's nice.
thank you.
So that's Alan Raymond. And Alan, you brought your producer here as well
I
today.
did. This is Jessy.
Hi there.
So how did you guys, like, I mean, these days, I know with music, a lot of times there's an awful lot on the producer. Like,
Yes.
You know? And so you guys obviously have to be a good working team. First of all, how did you guys get together, and what's the chemistry like?
Actually, there's one part of Substance that's not here. It's his name is Spencer Moose. He goes by Moose, and he was the first person I really got together with. We made this track together.
Actually, yeah, he produced, Spencer produced the Hell or High Water
Yeah.
music. So the video that we just got to all watch was produced by one half of Substance, which is our production team. And we'll be doing Alan's follow-up mixtape and record, so.
Okay. So Spencer's not here today?
He's
He's
not
not
here
with
today.
us. Sorry to cut Alan off there.
Yeah.
So the production company's called
We're called Substance.
Substance,
Yes,
and that
that's right.
includes all of you guys?
No, it really just includes the two
Basically,
of them.
I'm one half of the team, and the other half is the producer of Hell or High Water.
Okay.
His name Moose, goes by Moose Beats.
Now, how did
out
you
of
guys
Toronto
hook
as well.
up with Alan?
I actually had a buddy named Alex Thomas, a good friend of mine who he's a rapper as well from Toronto, and he goes by Double X. And he kind of introduced me. He liked my sound and introduced me to Moose, and thought that we'd work well together. And sure enough, it's been pretty smooth
Wow.
sailing since then. So
Wow.
It's been about, a year, I think.
it's coming on a year now.
So I actually was introduced to Alan's music also through Spencer, Moose. And we were in some sessions together, and we actually kind of met in passing. So when he would be finishing up a session, I would actually be on the way into the studio. So we kind of met that way, just
Yeah.
in scheduling just kind of worked out the way that we kind of saw each other in and out of each other's sessions. And then at one point, I had Alan's stuff played for me by Spencer, and he said, you should check out this guy. He'd be kind of interesting to work with. And that was when we were as well just kind of getting our, our platform together, our Substance, our name, and basically what we were going for. And we just thought it would be a good idea to basically extend an arm out to Alan and say, this is what we're going to be embarking on, this kind of journey. We'd love if we could be a part of your journey as well. And so that's how that kind of all started.
So the marriage made in heaven.
That's it.
Yes.
Or hell.
Or hell, yeah.
Or high water.
That's it. Right. Or high water. Right. That's it.
So and that's kind of interesting. So let me
Yeah.
just ask you, because obviously when you heard Alan's music, there was something about it that resonated with what you guys
Yes.
at Substance were trying to do. So maybe you can just kind of give us a synopsis of what Substance is all about. And then
Absolutely.
And then we'll find out from Alan about him.
Well, I guess in the search of a name, which is something I guess a lot of artists and any sort of creative can kind of relate to. It's definitely an important thing, and just the concept of Substance really resonated with us when we thought of it. It could mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. To us, the initial, I guess, pull to that was what does substance mean to us, and to us it meant within music we're lacking a lot of that, I guess, in, let's say, our top 40 world,
Contemporary.
our contemporary world, and in urban music a lot of the time. And I think that it's nice to draw back some attention to what we're actually saying and what the matter, what is actually going into the music in terms of where it's coming from, the inspiration, your audience, who you're talking to. And when I heard Alan's music, I basically I heard him. I heard an honest representation of where he was at in his life.
That's nice.
And a lot of the time, I think that gets skipped over in a lot of people's artistry, and I really appreciated that right away. So that's really what kind of spoke to me when I heard his music, was just an honest representation of where he was at.
Rather than the package.
Rather than the package, well, I mean, in production as well, I think there's a lot of blurred lines, pardon the expression, within the industry now in terms of what you can expect from an artist, what they're putting out into the basically into the, let's call it the internet. It's very easy to, I guess, kind of put your ego up where you think. Sorry, I'm getting a little sidetracked here. I'm going to let you take over.
It's just
I'm just going to let you take over. I'm trying
the way I always saw it with
elaborate a
Substance
little
was, they bring substance to the music that's lacking in most music these days. It's,
So
but
we're
I love
talking
it's real instruments.
non-Illuminati. pretty much.
No, we're not.
Well, you know.
Because all the packaged music is Illuminati,
Yeah.
right? I'm just stealing a page from.
Yeah, don't you have to sell your soul to the?
To the devil? Actually, I met with the devil, and we had a discussion about it, but I think it was best that I held on to my soul.
Yeah.
For the time being.
For the time
And
being,
Really?
You know, in all fairness, and when I was in the corporate world, I worked for a big advertising agency. And I was brand new to the advertising world, and I was working with one of the top agencies and working with the top client. And I was just a very, very junior person. The senior person came to me within 3 weeks, and he said to me, "You're not cut out for this business. You're too nice. I've already sold my soul to the devil." So it's kind of, so I thought, wow. And I actually didn't last. I mean, I lasted a couple of years, but I flipped to other agencies and stuff like that. But then I left because it was really, really cutthroat.
Yeah.
But I think it's a similar thing, right? I think it's if you become, if you become that package, you'll become successful. Like if you become like a Miley Cyrus or
Right.
Madonna
Right.
or, a Lady Gaga
That's right.
or all those kinds of people.
Yeah.
But I think that's what you're talking about. When
think,
you're talking
yeah,
about the
my-
substance, they're just a package, and people don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
I think what I was trying to get to was, in relating to substance is honesty, and I think out of
And integrity.
and
Yeah,
integrity,
absolutely.
and when I said hearing where Alan was coming from at that point when I heard his music, there was a lot of honesty. I could hear that he was a young man growing up in Toronto, going through a lot of similar situations that a lot of people can relate to. Just kind of being on your own, having big dreams, trying to get out of this current situation you're in. Setting your sights, to forward progression and all those kind of good things, as well as some dark things as well that a lot of people are going through in their own heads that might be afraid to touch on.
Right. It was,
But at the same time, I think honesty was the biggest part, and that's what I was kind of talking about with our industry now. Is there's a lot of, I guess, I don't want to call it fakeness, but there's just a lot of things that aren't real. So when you hear a song,
Can you give us an example? Like maybe,
I
don't know.
wouldn't really like to give necessarily an example, but I'm sure we all know what I'm talking about when you turn on the radio and it's just
Are you
you hear
saying-
lyrics that you
Well,
can't relate
again,
to.
We're
at all.
talking Britney Spears. We're talking
Miley
the
Cyrus.
Madonna.
Right, like
we're
things
talking,
that-
I mean, you don't want to give the names, but and it's fine. Whatever.
Sure,
If they
yeah.
want to make those choices, that's okay too. And people have every right to listen to that.
Absolutely.
That's okay. You're just saying, you know what?
But it's-
we think that there's a market for something else, and we want to appeal to that.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah,
it seems
that's where it comes from.
sometimes that the industry as a whole, the top-down driven industry, is pushing this kind of music and is unreceptive to something that's maybe a little more honest, something that's a little more grassroots. I think I saw some, that PBS show Frontline, and they did a thing on the whole music industry, and they cited bands like Insane Clown Posse and even Limp Bizkit. And so they're putting out this message that's really not helpful to young people or
Right.
helpful to the culture as a whole.
That's a lot of people forget about the fact that people are listening to what you make. I mean,
Yeah.
right now, not a lot of people are listening to me personally because I'm new, but Miley Cyrus, actually, I kind of get what she's doing with her whole personality change. She was Miley Cyrus, that good farm girl for ever, and she just that's what she was raised to be, and now that she has her own voice and she wants to,
Okay, so do you think it's her doing this, or do you think it's
I think
the
this is
company?
her. I think this is her. I think she, I'd like to believe that this is her choice, that she wants to be doing this, because I feel like what she was doing before wasn't her. I feel like that was maybe some influence from some older people around her. I don't know, but
Sort of
I don't know.
mold that she had to kind of fit.
Exactly. So now this is her kind of breaking out of that in the most aggressive sense of the word too.
It's interesting. I mean, I can see what you're saying, but because we see this happen so often with so many good girls who kind of go the other way,
Right.
what she's doing is not original. Everybody's done this. Everybody's become, once they start to gain fame, they start to become a bad girl. So she's
you
just
did.
repeating. Seven. And happy at that. What she's doing is not new.
Right.
It might be new to the new generation.
Sure.
And maybe it is about expressing herself, but that's not original.
Right.
So you have to wonder how much is her actually doing that, and how much is her being coached to do that. I mean, even real estate agents are coached.
Right.
Everybody is coached to a certain degree if you're
Absolutely.
dealing with some level of the public. Do you guys think as an artist, do you think you can maintain integrity and move to that level of success?
I'd like to hope so, for sure. I mean,
But do you think so? I know you'd like to hope so,
no,
but do you think
I
in
think
this
there will
world?
absolutely come a time, hopefully. I actually hope that a time comes where someone tries to, push their opinions on me and like, you got to do it this way or it's the highway kind of thing. And kind of like the way I've always seen my music personally is breaking out of the normal, like trying to do something truly unique and break genres and kind of just,
Yeah, how do you find that? Because it seems to me so much has been done before.
Yeah.
I find it very rare these days when a musical artist is able to come up with something that's actually
Absolutely.
new and fresh.
Yeah, it's tough. Kind of the way I see it is, expand your own musical horizons, listen to all sorts of music, because in the end, everything is inspiration. It's not biting someone's style. If you want to do, if you want to sing and rap, everyone's doing that. But if you can I listened to a lot of classic rock growing up, so if I can take things that I know from Jim Morrison or from Led Zeppelin, these classic rock bands, and bring that into contemporary hip hop, which is what's selling the most these days, and kind of mesh the two. I don't think a lot of people are touching on that, and it's really just gathering inspiration from all areas.
Contemporary hip hop is what's selling the most?
I'd say right now pop hip hop. I call it pop hip hop, like popular
okay.
hip hop. So not to get confused with the true hip hop heads out there who love that.
Are you talking in Canada?
I'm
North
talking
America?
North America, the world
Okay,
generally.
okay.
Just
Okay, because is hip hop getting better or received in
yeah,
Canada?
that's a tough question. I love the popular hip hop that's out these days. I'm not hating on anything, so I definitely I can see how people don't like hip hop heads. Like I can see how they're pretty frustrated with the kind of direction it's moved into. But that's just that's just the way it works. You kind of.
I mean, there's definitely a Canadian sound, for sure. There's definitely a Canadian sound, and I'm not sure. I think hip hop's getting more. Well, is getting better received here, but I'm not so sure it's up to where the Canadian rock stuff is.
It's.
I think it's definitely on the rise.
Yeah, I think so too.
There's definitely a few names that are flying around now. I mean, not to be obvious, but Drake is definitely a big
that's
name
true.
that's brought a lot of attention across, up to the northern side of the border.
Absolutely.
To the point where I'm sure there's probably still people that don't even know he's from where we are.
Well, that's a really telling statement.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's definitely a lot of work to be done, I think, if we want to get to that, I guess, Canadian rock status.
Yeah.
We have artists like, Celine Dion, Shania Twain, Nickelback, artists that people, again, they aren't even thinking about where they're originally from, and they've been around for years. But yeah, I mean,
that's a very hip hop thing too, right? To pride yourself on where you come from.
Oh,
Instead
is
of
it?
in the rock, like, that's a
yeah.
personal opinion, but still, I feel like that's rep your city, rep where you're from, and in rock and roll and stuff, it's not really about that. It's more about the music you make.
Yeah,
and,
isn't that
and that's
interesting?
the way it should be, right? Just listen to the music and don't worry about all the background stuff. And
Wow.
that's again, everything is subjective.
So I'm going to call you guys independent in the sense
Absolutely.
that as opposed to somebody like Drake or Miley Cyrus or these guys, where it seems to me like the industry is putting out that particular music.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it has to start somewhere, right? At some point, all of these artists had to have been independent at some point. So, I mean,
really?
Yeah.
Don't they all start with Disney?
No, it's your cosign. Something like a cosign will take you really far for sure. Once someone who's big enough can kind of just shout your name out, especially on like Twitter or Instagram or Facebook.
Okay. So actually, I want to go with this because I would like to believe that it's possible for anybody who's got the right stuff to actually start from grassroots, ground zero, and make it big. But how is it in terms of getting airplay and getting access to the airwaves, or who even listens to the radio anymore?
It's tough. I listen to the radio all the time. I work construction, so I'm on my way
Okay.
to and from work. I'm always
I can
listening to the radio.
understand that.
So. But yeah, no, it's very tough to get on the radio. Everyone wants money. Everyone wants a buck. So it's and we're not the most the wealthiest of musicians here. So we're struggling at it. And we all have jobs that we work to kind
I feel like
of
it's a
help.
bit of an oxymoron. Wealthy musicians.
Well,
Isn't that crazy
Good
though that you
point.
have to actually pay somebody off to get your
to
music?
get on the radio. Yeah.
Is that what you have to
heard on
do?
the radio?
Yeah, it's,
That's what you have to do.
I'm sure there are ways, but
Wow.
for most most artists, right? It's tough.
Wow.
It's a tough thing. So what you got to do really is, as an artist, you just kind of, you keep your head down to that kind of stuff, and you just
Focus.
make your own music. You focus on making music, and in the end, if the music's good enough, hopefully it'll speak for itself.
Yeah.
And
I think
that's
we
really all
are,
you
we
can
are
do,
pretty
so.
blessed, though. I mean, in the way that we can, with social media now, it's it's basically anyone's game. I mean, as long as you have
Thank goodness.
the right team behind you, supporting you, which we've been fortunate enough to kind of come across and get together. But again, like with the internet, it's really anyone's game. It's an open playing field. You just have to make sure you keep your fans connected and make sure people know what you're up to. But it slowly builds.
Yeah.
I mean, really, the truth is, too, if you build enough of a fan base and you perform and you have enough people coming out to these shows
Right.
and then you sell enough, CDs from there and then the word spreads online, then they come looking for you,
Absolutely.
right?
That's
That's how they do it. That's how a lot of
100%.
independent artists do it. How did Drake do it?
We know
Well,
how he did it.
I'm not too sure. He's again, I think the music spoke for itself. He's right. He writes
I
catchy
think-
music.
I think what's not said enough
sells.
about enough artists is it does take a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
And taking the right opportunity when it comes knocking at your door, and just being ready for when it does come. So.
That's it.
Okay, guys. Well, listen, we're just about out of time here, but I know you got a show coming up this Friday.
Yes.
Right, Alan? So
Yeah.
just tell us a little
Yeah,
bit
it's
about the show.
it's Friday, November 1st. It's at a place called the Ballet. It's a new place.
Ballet.
The Ballet, yes. It's a new place. It's on Dundas and Ossington. I believe it's actually on Ossington, but it's right there at that intersection. And I'll be on around 10:30 sharp. Hopefully, if all goes well. And if you stick around afterwards at 12 o'clock, there's a burlesque show. So.
What time does that
should
start?
be kind of nice. my gig or the
10:30
burlesque?
p.m. sharp.
Yeah, it's 10:30, and they go on around 12, and yeah, it's gonna be a fun night. And I've been playing a bunch of shows, but this is my first headlining show. So
Congratulations, that's great.
thank you.
Great.
Yeah.
And is there a CD out or anything that people can get?
There is a
their hands
mixtape out right now. It's my first mixtape. It's called Hell or High Water, HOHW.
on? Now,
And
is that? How does that come? Does that come on a tape?
it's
or
all
a
online.
CD?
It's all digital,
It's
actually.
all digital.
So I mean, if you wanted to burn it onto a disc and then just hand that out,
I
it's
hate
free.
the
I'm not
disc,
charging
though.
anything. I know, right?
I'm
It's,
just put on the hard drive, right?
That's it,
Who
right?
needs to
So-
carry that stuff around?
That's
Yeah.
it. That's what we thought. So.
Before we go,
Yeah.
quick question, what's trap?
Trap. I actually would never have considered myself trap.
What is
music.
that?
It's like an entrancing kind of music, I guess.
It's become a genre, I guess you could say.
That-
It's mostly just describing the sounds used in the music.
Okay, I know what that entrance stuff is all about. I've
Right.
never heard the term trap. Actually, that song was I could see why you'd call
Yeah.
that. Actually,
So
I
there's a
kinda-
lot of low end, bassy drums,
it's almost hypnotizing too.
That's
actually.
yeah.
quick
absolutely.
hi hats. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always just
Wow.
kind of thought of it as like rock, hip hop, a little mix of the two. Keep it simple, I guess. Keep it simple as simple can be, So.
Well, now that we've had this conversation, we're going to actually watch the video again, and everybody can
Cool.
look at it with new eyes, and maybe they can hear some of that trap.
Right on.
But thanks, guys, for coming in here today, Alan
Thank
and
you. Good
Jessy.
luck.
Thank you very much.
Good luck, and
Absolutely.
Hope you guys keep
love
the
to have you
integrity.
back.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And
That's it.
Jessy, if you got more artists or want to come back and talk about
Yes,
your company
absolutely. Thank you
someday,
very
that'd be Great. So we're going to watch the video again, and we're going to come back with DTD artists as Liquid Lunch continues. We'll be right back.
Oh, go on and tell me your secret. Show me your ghost. Well, let out your skeleton. No, you're a bag of bones. Oh, I got my weapon, my heart of gold. Oh, I'll fight your battle, but I won't fight it alone. No. And I go to war for you. I risk it all for you. Yeah, I go to hell and back for you. Hell or high water. Oh, I go to war for you. I risk it all for you. And I go to hell and back for you. fight all your demons there. Rattle your bones. Yeah, tell me your weakness. I'll give you my strength. Fuck all your demons. I'll help you bury your shame. I go to war for you. I risk it all for you. Yeah, I go to hell and back for you. Hell or high water. I go to war for you. I risk it all for you. And I go to hell and back for you. Hell or high water. Yeah.
I'ma fall back on the hopeless brats who got the phone numbers but they won't call back. Fuck that. I'ma start a whole new battle for the unsung heroes who never set traps, never talk shit, yeah they never act whack, yeah they always stay true. This is just my theory, but my evidence backs and I'm coming for you. Yeah, I'm coming for you. Fuck that, I ain't waiting on the day when they wanna see Brayman. Understand I'm an understatement. Me and my crew stay locked in the basement. When the fox and the fiddle drops drunk bass lines and the whole crowd goes as obnoxious face it. Doesn't give you the right to drop stupid lines or do white lines in the bathroom, just waste it. Look bro, you're unoriginal, yeah, everything you do is just copy paste it. Goes far for what though somehow it's so damn basic. Oblivious to the situation that the place in. Gotta say it's frustrated, I'm waiting. Wait. Alright, yeah, this'll go on and you'll babble on and she'll lead you on cause to her you're tasteless. These ruthless girls are on top for now cause somehow they fucking made it. Till then you better try harder, stand a little taller. Till then it's a fucking slaughter. Yeah, through hella high water.
AT&T. Protege Records presents Boss Life.
Boss life, we live it every day. Work hard on the grind just to get the pay. Boss life, we live in boss life. Boss life, we live it every day. Work hard on the grind just to get the pay. Boss life, we live in boss life. Boss life, we live it every day. Work hard on the grind just to get the pay. Boss life, we live in boss life. Boss life, we live it every day. Work hard on the grind just to get the pay. Boss life, we live in boss life.
Here on the show, and there was a little, I guess, teaser, right?
Yes.
DT of what is that? A new single or something?
Yes, it's a new single called Boss Life. We actually recorded and shot the video in St. Martin in the Caribbean. Yeah.
Oh my,
Wait,
what's a
the
tough
English? Or, I'm
job.
sorry, they
On
got
the
a
Dutch
Dutch
side.
and a
There's
French
Dutch and
side,
French.
right?
Yes.
You were on the Dutch side.
I was on the Dutch side.
Did you go over to the French side?
I do drive over there every now and then,
Oh, yeah.
go take in the food culture and that kind of thing.
Wow,
Okay.
that must have been a really tough video to shoot. Oh God.
It was, you know what? I mean, it was long hours and late nights of having fun and shooting videos and rapping and that kind of thing. So, it got kind of hard.
I'm sure it did. And the weather must have been just really, really difficult to work in.
It was awful because it was sunny all the time.
Oh my
There were
God.
beaches all around. It's not the kind of thing you want to do
I
every
hope you
day.
stayed away from the beach, DT.
The beach is actually amazing. When you do, what I would do is, let's say I'm there for 2 weeks, I go to the beach maybe twice. That's my reward after I've recorded a bunch of different things
Beautiful.
or shot videos. We're like, okay, we're going to the beach, which is actually 2 blocks away from the studio that I record at down there.
That's too bad.
Wow, so you recorded.
So you wouldn't like it there.
No. I think we should have
Actually, I was
liquid
thinking,
lunch down there.
Live to air?
I'm thinking of going down there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will be down there in March. I'm just getting the dates confirmed. I'll be doing artist development workshops and then doing a mini tour, 3 dates there and then in Anguilla. So that would be something we can invite you guys to.
How do you get these gigs?
In St. Martin, 2008 was my first time going down there.
Okay.
a lady by the name of Shireen Ashman. She was doing something called Style Diva. And I was mentoring her at the time. And then after mentoring her, she started mentoring me. And she's like, hey, we have this event. Why don't you come down? And I went down there, and the show that I was supposed to perform at got canceled. So I'm one of those people, I'm like, listen, I'm here. Let's find something else. So she's like, okay, we're having an all-white party. You can be the headliner and be the only person on it. I'm like, let's do it. So I did the all-white party at Holland House, and I got to know the GM there. And since 2008, I've been there about 16 times now. Wow. So yeah, I have a huge following down there. I'm able to record. I get on radio, newspapers, everything easy compared to when I'm down here.
Isn't that
why
amazing?
is that? I mean, is it because you sort of stand out when you're down there because you're from somewhere else?
Yes, because I am from somewhere else, there is that internationalness about it,
Yeah.
you know. So,
Okay.
but when I'm down there, because I'm down there so often, they call me like Mr. St. Martin, you know. So they're like, "Oh, you see Mr. St. Martin?" Da, 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 da.
Nice.
So when they see me at shows and stuff, like people aren't even surprised anymore. They're like, "Oh yeah, DT lives here." Like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, my older sister actually lives there. Shout out to Alita Brown. You know, I see you, sis. So usually when I go down, I stay with her, and she's actually a fashion designer, so she sets up a lot of shows and stuff as well. So when she's doing her shows, I'm always the MC, or I tag on as the headlining artist.
Well, I hope I'm down there sometime when you're there.
Oh,
we can
yeah.
get together and we can have fun, and you can show me around. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Very
Okay,
nice.
so now I understand you're going to BC as well?
Yes, this Thursday I'll be heading to British Columbia to do 2 shows and then a boat cruise with my colleague and rap partner, the NASDAQ. You can find him at the NASDAQ, THANAZDAQ.
Okay.
So this is not the NASDAQ stock thing, right? Like,
No, this is an
That's-
artist, a
okay,
hip hop artist
okay.
named the NASDAQ.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yeah.
Hugh? Okay, okay.
I do.
Yes. But he, like the stock exchange, his stock is going up.
Wow, very smooth. Look at that. Now I know why they love you. It's not just about the purple shirt.
So what about a boat cruise, though? Isn't it a little chilly over there these days?
You know what, to be honest, for me, like I've performed in the middle of winter outside. I'm one of those artists, I actually am passionate and love what I'm doing. So I don't care if someone books me and says, hey, we're gonna do it in the middle of Alaska and you gotta wear shorts and boots. So like, all right, cool, let's do it.
Okay, so
Wow,
where is
love the
this boat
attitude.
cruise?
It's gonna be in Vancouver.
But are you going over to Vancouver Island, or are you going up the
No,
coast?
I think they're just doing
or,
like a round
in the Bay?
in the Bay
Oh,
Area,
yeah.
you know, that kind of thing.
Now, have you been there before?
I was there once about 9 years ago.
Okay.
Wow.
Very beautiful city though.
Yeah.
That's exciting, eh? You get to go to Vancouver. Nice.
Okay, so now, so you got the single coming out,
Yes.
Boss Man, right? No,
Boss Life.
Boss Life. Okay.
So lifestyle.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay, so
What is the
yeah.
lifestyle?
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of you look the
it's
part,
insane Martin.
but what's the deal?
So with Boss Life, where the concept came is everybody dreams of having it all and that kind of thing. So for me, I like to speak things into existence. So as you saw in the video, we were in a villa and, you know, we had pretty women around and that kind of thing. While I was in St. Martin, I was talking to my business partner and colleague. He goes by Mr. 48, shout out to you. I was telling him, like, listen, I want to do this song. It's called Boss Life. I'm going to speak these things into existence. We're going to get a nice car. We're going to get a villa. We're going to, you know, just have a party. And the next day I get a phone call like, hey, you want to stay in a villa? And I was like, are you serious? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, we're going to bring we had a Land Rover and an H2 was there. And I'm like, all right, let's do this. All of a sudden, like, people showed up. There was cameras. And we're like, all right, we're going to shoot the video then. So Boss Life for me is just working hard for whatever you want. And then after you get it, celebrating your success.
Wow.
You know, so that's what it is.
So I have the name of the next song for you.
All right.
Let's do it.
That was actually the title of my very first mix CD in the year 2000 called Let's Do It, Volume 1.
Because that's an amazing attitude. It's like you just accept everything, no matter what. It's like, oh, I'll just go with it. Oh, it was canceled. Let's find something else to
Oh yeah,
fill
you
that.
can turn it into a positive. I had a time where I actually got flown to New York. I was supposed to do this big show. And while I was on the plane, apparently, the show got canceled. So I landed. And I'm like, okay, so what's going on? They're like, oh yeah, it's canceled. You're going to have to find your own way back and whatever.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, you know what? Forget this. I went to a local bar. I'm like, listen, I'm here. I'm only here for 2 days. I want to do some shows. They're like, yeah, you can do tonight and tomorrow. We don't care. I got a crowd of about 200 people out. Like, I would just go on, hey, I'm doing a show. Come on out. Come on out. this is me, da da da. And I sold about maybe 200 CDs between the 2 dates. So I made about $2,000 off of something where it got canceled.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
What a great attitude. That's amazing. No wonder you're a mentor. That's amazing, DT.
Thank you.
So what is? Let's talk a little about this idea of speak things into
Yeah, that's really cool.
action,
Into
right?
existence.
Into existence. Do you want to talk about that?
Where that comes from, like when I was growing up, my mom, raised 4 of us, single parent mom and that kind of thing. And she would always tell me, you know what, there's no excuse. If you're alive, there's something you can do. And for me, I just got to this point where I was like, you know what, it's nobody's fault but my own. So when I was looking for a producer, I had this young man who would come to a program that I was running. His name's Tyler Craig. He's actually now my producer. Like my album that's coming out, he produced everything that's on it.
Wow.
So he would show up every day and I trained him. And then he got better at making beats than I did. And I was like, you know what, you make the beats now. He's like, all right, cool. So the other day he came by my house. He's like, listen, you know what? I just got a computer, but I don't have the program to produce anymore. And I'm like, just hold up. So the next day I called him like I'm coming over, got him the program, put it on. Because I really feel like when you're working and speaking things into existence, as you're working in your partnership, you have to grow together. Mm-hmm. So what I would do is, okay, you're doing me something, so let me find out what you need. And then I would
do you something.
Yeah, that way it's always, we're one-upping each other in a positive way. Instead of it like, oh, well, you know what, Hugh owes me. So when Hugh does me a favor by putting me on the show, and then I go to another show and I promote and say, you know what, Hugh Riley's a great guy. He's not paying me for this, by the way. And he invited me to ThatChannel to do Liquid Lunch and da-da-da-da. I'm going to get him an interview on, whatever show, or bring him to St. Martin. Now Hugh says, wow, DT is amazing. I did him this little favor and he did this for me. You know what, we're going to have a 2-hour segment while we're in St. Martin,
Yeah.
wink, wink. So it's just having a positive attitude, because I really believe that everything is a stepping stone. So when you take those negative experiences and you build on them, all of a sudden when you get to that big place, you feel like, you know what, I went through a lot to get here. Mm-hmm. So it's not even just speaking it into existence, it's putting the action to the words that were spoken.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And then it's time to celebrate.
Oh,
right?
yeah. And speaking of celebrate, I have to say this. I just got signed on. I am now the Canadian representative for a brand called Afroman. And what Afroman is, it's a comic book and animated movie where they're teaching young people about, African heritage, that kind of thing, the keepers of the Book of Knowledge. So I will actually be fulfilling a childhood dream. I will have my own superhero character made up of me with my logo. Eddie Griffin is actually the comedian who is playing Afroman. So there's a lot of different information that I'll share with you guys later on.
You got to come back and talk about that.
Oh, for sure.
Can you bring us a little character?
I will get you the movie, the preview that they have, all that kind of thing. So when I come back from BC, I'll set some up and see if we can.
So what is it though? Is it a movie? Is it a comic book?
It's
what
a
is
whole brand.
It's
So they have T-shirts, they have comic books, they have DVDs, and then they have a full-length movie that is about child trafficking. So just talking about that issue, they also do with bullying, poverty, different kind of real issues where, it's easier for kids to understand, like, hey, I can do something about this.
Yeah.
It's real to me now.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Very
So
cool.
I hope that the superhero character they make of you is really tall.
Well, he'd have to be 6'6". And he'll be as muscular as I am. And speaking of muscles, I actually have my doctor here, Dr. Joel Kerr.
You have a doctor? I mean, a real doctor? What are we talking about? Or a hip-hop doctor?
No, he's a real doctor.
a real
Dr.
doctor.
Joel Kerr. We call him Dr. J.
We were going to get him on the show, but
Yes.
we don't have time today. We're going to get him back another time.
Another day. But last year I was actually about 315 pounds. And then in working with him, I'm now at 268.
Wow.
So he was
Good
really
for you.
influential
That's amazing.
in, getting me down.
So what are, say, the 2 biggest things that you did to get you back down, or that you can think of off
Well,
the top of your
Dr.
head?
J is one of those people I call a professional butt kicker. So he creates a plan for you, and then he's going to kick your butt until
So fear is
you do
number
the plan.
1.
Yes, fear is the first thing. And then just constant motivation. Like, he'll constantly call me like, hey, listen, what are your eating habits like right now? Did you cut out the soda? Are you exercising? Are you doing the plan that we're on? Okay, I have this opportunity. I'm going to be working out here. Why don't you come with me? I'm going to be doing this with this basketball team. Why don't you come with me? And just creating opportunities. So now we kind of collaborate on brands where he's doing the health push, and then me as an artist, I'm able to say, listen, because of this doctor and his program, I actually lost this much weight, and he's not paying me to say this, right? Like, it's
Well, we know
actually real.
Hugh's not paying you, so it's not paying you either, right?
So okay, so you got BC
Yes.
coming up, and you got this the Afro Man character, which is great. Now, and is the album coming out soon? The CD?
The album will be released around March, April.
Okay.
And that is going to be called Boss Life, which is named after the tune there. And the producer is Ty Craig. You can follow him at TEECEE Craig. So Ty Craig. And then I have another producer in St. Martin, Devondre Jones. He's actually producing the next album because during the summer I'll be going on tour. Nasdaq and I will be going to Europe, the States, the Caribbean. So I won't necessarily have as much time to be around to record. So we're getting the next year's album done now so that while we're touring, we can then release a new product.
Wow.
And
that's
what else
really
is
well
going
thought
on?
out.
I mean, that sounds like enough, but is there anything else we should know about?
Yes, my business partner, Mr. 40H in St. Martin, when I go back there in December for 2 weeks, we'll be shooting about 18 videos. We got another 15 songs to record. We'll be doing a whole media tour. Then we'll be going to Anguilla. And then he'll actually be coming here to Canada. So I'll set it up so that he can come and meet you guys.
That would
Wow,
be great.
very
Come on,
nice.
yes.
Wow.
Can we get a live performance at some point too? We got the big stage.
That would
here
actually
now
be perfect.
And
We
all
can
that stuff.
Let's do
release.
it.
We will do the official release of the track here.
Let's
That
do
would be
it.
great.
Yeah.
That
So
would be. We could have
he's
a,
actually on the track, so the two of us can perform it.
and we could have a
when he
big
comes.
party.
Let's do it. I'll
Okay,
invite a whole
okay.
bunch of friends.
Okay, DT.
Yes.
That sounds like fun. Okay. Any shows though? I mean, in Toronto. coming up?
I do have one in January. That will be with Freddie Fame, which is the 5th. So
I know Freddie Fame the 5th.
Yes.
You know Freddie
He did
Fame.
that fabulous video with. You know what's his name. Anyways.
Sure.
Yes. Because of him, I have my own hip hop trading card.
Okay.
I'm part of the Legends of the Fame trading series, and then he does a cipher every month.
Yeah.
So I'll be on the one in January.
What's a
What's
cipher?
that mean?
A cipher is basically when they put on a beat and a whole bunch of guys get together, or ladies, and you do a freestyle and that kind of thing.
Like
and
improv, kind of?
Yes, improv.
Okay, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that will be in January. That'll be released, and then we'll be doing a big actual showcase show.
See, I would think that you would lose weight just with everything you're doing. I don't even know why you have to do anything because, I mean, just to try to keep up with what you're doing. Holy cow.
It's funny though. I'm a certified workaholic. Like if I have to sit down, I gotta send out a message. I gotta email, text, or I gotta be writing. I'm working on lyrics, video concepts, because I just feel like I have to be doing
So
something.
Hugh, do we think he's a type A?
I don't go to that type A, type B type thing.
Maybe A++.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do that.
But in a really good way. I don't think he's really
Absolutely.
stressed. You don't seem stressed.
Well, you know what?
No.
Okay, DT, this has been great. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to watch that video again,
Again.
Yes.
so people can watch this with new eyes now that you had this conversation. And but in the meantime, is there a website where people can stay in touch with what you're doing, or maybe order some of your
Yes.
music, or whatever they want to do?
You can go to my personal website. It's dttheartist, all one word, .wordpress.com. You can check me on Twitter at dttheartist, facebook.com/dttheartist. Everything's dttheartist. Well branded. And
Consistent.
Yeah.
All
can
right.
keep
And
in
we
touch
know what
that way.
DT stands for, don't we?
It's Deep Thoughts.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Wow. I
Okay,
didn't know
DT.
that.
Well, it's been great to have you
Okay.
on the show.
Thank you
as
so much.
always, and we look forward to that album release party.
All right.
And coming
point.
back
Yeah.
to speak to us.
Well, we'll broadcast that live.
Oh yeah, we'll
Why
have
not?
the actual release here.
Okay.
Yeah, no joke.
Awesome. Okay, so let's watch this, and then actually right after we see DT's video, we're going to watch the Google DNA thing,
Nice.
and we're going to come back after that with Morav Richter as Liquid Lunch continues.
48 GNC Protege Records presents Boss Life.
Boss life, we live it every day. Work hard on the grind just to get the pay. Boss life, we live in boss life. Boss life, we live it every day. Work hard on the grind just to get the pay. Boss life, we live in boss life. Boss life, we live it every day. Work hard. pain. Boss life, we live in boss life. Boss life, we live in every day. Work hard on the grind just to get the pay. Boss life, we live in boss life.
Okay, and we are back, hour number 2. This will be very important information for a lot of you. Illustrative of what's really going on with Google, which has more tentacles than 10 octopi. And Google is also involved in some very, very heavy-duty advanced research, a lot of which we don't even know about. In terms of mapping, learning to control, manipulate, and otherwise influence your DNA. It's all about control, total, absolute, cradle-to-grave control. And here tonight to talk about this is Loren Murray, who broke the story on this program of Google's nefarious deeds, which very few people outside of you folks listening have a clue about. Welcome back, Loren.
Oh, good evening, Jeff. Thank you so much. This is really exciting to be able to continue updating the Google story.
Oh, it's huge.
It's huge.
They are doing things. I mean, look at that cute little logo, all right? About as harmless looking and non-threatening as it could be. People just don't understand the power, which is growing enormously all the time. Google has the total sanction and backing of the international elite who are running the show, and they are making really no bones about where they're going, and where they're going is total control. Look what they've done with their satellite, their ground cams going by down your street. Unless you really raise hell, your picture is on the internet, your home, your residence, your privacy. What privacy? It's all part of the TSA PSYOP. There are many facets to it of taking your dignity away, breaking you down, and making you completely malleable and easily manipulated and formed into any kind of mass they want. Loren, go ahead.
Well, let's talk about the Internet, the history of the Internet, because that really exposes who is behind these programs and who the architects are. I was at Livermore Lab as a research scientist from 1989 to 91, and what I learned is that the backbone of the Internet was developed at Livermore. The reason they developed it was out of concern for contractors working for the Department of Defense who had to be physically located close to each other so that they could communicate and collaborate on DoD projects. And the DoD developed the Internet as a sort of an email system so that contractors could decentralize and be scattered around the United States so that if there was an attack, they would not all be taken out by a few bombs in one central location.
Sure.
So from the beginning to the middle to the present, the Internet is Department of Defense. It's Pentagon. It was set up by the Pentagon. It's controlled by the Pentagon. And it's being used by the Pentagon to control the masses. That is the purpose. There's no other way to describe it.
Agreed.
So, then, once they got the Internet set up, they gave it to us to use like a new Maserati, and everybody had lots of fun for 20 years on the Internet.
Well, totally addicting, of course.
It's completely addicting, but what they're doing is distracting, again, the people, the public, the population from social connections, community connections. They are taking people away from daily direct communication
Right.
with the their web of life, the people around them.
Right, and it used to be, you make a beautiful point here, not so beautiful, but right on the money, face-to-face contact with people, looking them in the eye, three-dimensional sensory input from people, some would suggest 4, is crucial to an advancing society. This society has been literally sidetracked into a cul-de-sac, and it's now chasing its tail in a virtual world of nothingness. It's amazing.
It's true. It's nothing. It's what they do. What I've finally realized is that each time they give us something new and modern and wonderful that will improve our lives, what they're doing is actually taking away something that was vital to our humanity, to our spirituality, to our connectedness, and giving us something that is a piece of junk. And I've come to the conclusion, although I've used the internet in just to have a tremendous advantage in being able to do research that
Sure.
it wouldn't be possible to do in a library.
That's the bait. It's a drug you cannot deny.
Yep.
I mean, it's totally
It's
addictive.
heroin through
Sure.
the DSL line.
Yep, there you go. That's it.
So what they've done is to set up the internet, get us addicted to it, and then they started developing the programs, the applications. So the first one was Microsoft and Bill Gates. And Microsoft was set up so that there would be one global operating system that the U.S. government had a backdoor into for all computers everywhere in the world.
Right.
Then they set up Google as a search engine, and let's just look at the background of the two guys who supposedly set it up.
Larry Page
One.
and Sergey Brin.
That's right. Now, Sergey Brin he was born in Russia, so he's from an immigrant family. But listen to this. His father was a mathematician who worked at the University of Maryland, and his mother worked for NASA.
I didn't know that one. Well, it's like a blue-blood line.
NASA. And
Yeah.
that is exactly where Sergey Brin and Larry Page park their private jets.
Don't worry, you can just come. Okay, we're on the show. We're back. Okay. You see, we're coming in off the Google thing, Agenda 21. They're controlling our DNA center. We talked about this at the beginning. You'd already heard about it.
I have already heard about it, yes. You know what? Do you think it's real?
I don't know.
What, Google's controlling our DNA?
Yeah. Did you hear about that, Morav?
There's that, I know Roseanne Barr has this whole agenda with the, I'm not so familiar with it.
And she was just in town on the weekend speaking about all that stuff. MK Ultra Mind Control.
Okay, so now we have to talk about SIO.
Wait.
Okay, okay, that was a great segue.
It's all about you,
into
Sarah.
You know what? Honest to God, because
Perfect.
SIO counters MK Ultra. That's what. And ironically, it was so funny that it was the very first working group of the new session.
Yeah.
And we're holding them Sundays 2 to 4:30, a block away from where this talk was going on, which was going on at the exact same time. And yeah, the Trinity St. Paul, and it was the first place that I did my first ever working group was right down there. So it's interesting that somebody came to me and said, "Hey, we should go check this out."
I almost went myself.
Yeah.
For the MK Ultra?
Yeah, Roseanne
MK
Barr.
stands for mind control.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And SIO is about deprogramming the mind.
Wasn't it a CIA cover-up, an MK Ultra mind? Now, I know that it's morphed. Somehow I've heard that it's morphed into something else that now includes all the other sort of multimedia platforms like Google. And so it's not MK Ultra Mind anymore, is it?
Well,
it's expanded.
They say it started with Dr. Mengele, the Nazi mad scientist,
That's
right?
right,
And they
that he
brought them
invented,
over to
yes.
the U.S. after the war,
Right.
and then Walt Disney got involved, and of course, Miley Cyrus is
twerking MK.
Exactly.
She's twerking it. That's
Exactly.
Well, and
the
you
new
know what they
subliminal
had.
messages.
Well, and it's amazing though because what they had there, guys, they had 3 people speaking. They had Roseanne Barr,
Yeah.
who's talking about the Illuminati, the MK Ultra program, and how all the big stars, if they're a big star, they're part of that program. And she said that when she actually goes to parties, they actually thank her for speaking up because they're petrified of speaking up.
So I wonder if, I mean, her being behind the camera, doing that sitcom, if she was consciously aware of what sort of subliminal messaging was put into her show, was it imposed? Was she
Or
asked?
maybe
did she
she
speak
was.
to that?
I mean, I don't know. Well, I would have liked to have seen her because maybe she was an MK mind control candidate or something that
Broke free?
Broke free, because I think one of the other speakers was
That's
Kathy
Catherine-
O'Brien,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Was
Who's that?
she
I'm not familiar
is
with her.
she
Wow.
she's got a reputation. She tours. She speaks about. She says she was a mind control victim.
Okay.
And, that
And
she's
she's a
broken
survivor.
free
She
of
calls
it.
herself a survivor.
A survivor of
Yeah.
an-
So she's got.
Wow.
I mean, she's.
She talks about how growing up in this, because it's part of families, right? Lines of families, and how she grew up, and there was ritualistic abuse. She was prostituted,
Wow.
all kinds of really deep mind programming, and she somehow survived that. And she's been speaking about this for 20 years, but nobody would listen to her. Now it's starting to gain
And
momentum.
somehow MK Ultramind is all involved within
Well,
that?
she
I
was
mean,
part of the
it's-
Mind K.
See what they say.
the MK
Yeah.
I
What they
know- I
say.
know
There
this
sounds
isn't-
a little hesitation
And we should be
there.
talking about you and your book, Morav.
Which is
We're
the complete opposite.
We are getting there. We're getting
But-
there. Yeah, which is
Mind
the opposite.
creativity.
There's no darkness. That's right.
But what they say is that it's all part of an effort to basically control the culture, control people, take them in a particular direction. In fact, that video that we just saw is talking about Agenda 21, which is actually, if you really look, you can see it around us. You see the way that the education system has been changed.
Right.
You know, people complain about kids aren't getting the education they used to. Well, that's deliberate, and
Right.
it's the reason is to
Institutionalized, yeah.
control the culture, to control people,
Yeah,
to
so-
control the mass, because they say it's easier to kill 1 billion people than it is to control 1 billion people now. It used to be the other way around. Anyways, just
It's
look it
easier
up.
to kill a
Go-
billion?
Yeah, just press the button. Right. So the thing
Wow.
is,
So they keep them ultra institutionalized or
Yeah.
homogenized. so that they
Robots, I
can,
guess.
Yeah,
including the
robots.
use of drugs and pharmaceuticals
Right,
and blah,
right,
blah, blah,
right,
blah,
right.
blah.
And if they get a little bit out of hand within our institutional society, let's drug them up on some pharma
Let's
meds.
call it mental health, and then
Yeah.
give them antidepressants.
Let's give it a fancy acronym, because then it really sounds professional.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
You can't argue with a fancy acronym.
No, you can't.
You can't. if you've been diagnosed with a fancy acronym, how can you deny that?
That's right. Once you have the label, that's it.
Yeah, once you're labeled.
I'm reminded of a fancy acronym right now, but it would be in bad taste for me to mention it.
Oh, I like bad taste.
Really?
Yeah.
Not this much.
The MK Ultramind has gotten to you.
Absolutely, 100%.
That's okay.
very funny.
Okay.
We will bypass that fancy acronym for now. You'll tell us off air.
Okay, now Morav, we've been talking now for minutes and minutes without really even giving you a proper introduction or getting into what we're really here to talk to you about today. But Morav Richter, you're joining us here. You're the author of a book. Can we hold that?
Sure.
There you
Here,
go.
you hold it.
Oh, I'll hold it. Okay,
hold
here
it
it is.
together.
Nothing
Yeah,
about
this-
MK Ultra here.
Nothing
The
at
Secret
all.
of the Storyteller, right, Morav?
Yeah, by M. Richter is my
M.
author name. Yeah.
Okay, so what is this book?
So this book is a spiritual adventure story, and I set out, for me, what started me on my path. I was an avid reader when I was young, and I loved The Celestine Prophecy and Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse, The Alchemist, and all those books really put me on a trajectory, for me, of starting to explore the unseen world, the unknown world. And then as I progressed into adulthood, I started following that path, and I got into peacemaking, and sometimes, into sort of the antithesis of peacemaking. I was one of those ones that stood in front of the tanks. I mean, I
Tanks.
I
So
did.
you were like an
I was an
activist?
activist, but really sort of a stringent, radical activist. And as I started opening up myself to my own spiritual path and started investigating the mystical cultures of all the different traditions, the wisdom cultures, I realized that there's so much that has been suppressed and repressed, and that there's a real void of that voice and especially all those books that brought me, all that literature that brought me to pursue my spiritual, the walk of the spiritual path, there was a real void of the feminine voice, the stories told for women, by women, and about women that really allowed them to see themselves archetyped in that spiritual transformation. So this is a story of a young woman who becomes embroiled in a Jerusalem uprising, and seeking refuge from the riots, she hides in the home of an ancient mystical oracle who reveals to her these secrets that have been hidden for millennia and equally hidden political agendas.
Whoa. Is it a novel?
MK Ultra?
There is no MK Ultra involved, no. No, it is
It's a novel. Are they
novel.
real secrets, though?
They are secrets that have been suppressed over the last few millennia, yeah.
So you're bringing out secrets that
Secrets,
you
yeah,
discovered in your research?
Like
These are
ancient
actual...
knowledge.
Ancient knowledge, yeah.
So reading the book is like going on a treasure hunt.
It is
and
like going on
finding
a
the
treasure hunt, and that only to find that the treasure is within, that this transcendent experience that we've been looking to have is really an imminent co-creative experience.
See, that's kind of sad. Because, you really want jewels, diamonds, rubies.
Well,
precious,
there are some jewels and
Well, there's
diamonds.
another book called The Secret. Actually, there's another book called The Secret that we don't really want to talk about. I think that's the one you're talking about, right?
No.
Great that you're mentioning that, because as as you mentioned, and I love that you said that in your program, that what The Secret did was really, it did us a service in a sense.
Yes,
It did
absolutely.
this great service of having a lot of people realize that there are certain mystical laws, that there is a way that the universe works that we just need to connect with. Now, what that did, though, was open this door that says, well, all material wealth can be accessed. All of our corporeal existence is what we're to bring in, right? You want that fancy car? Just call it out to the universe. Law of attraction it. And it brought a lot of people on the path. It also was the downfall of a lot of people.
Yeah,
Is it a surprise? Is it an irony that the popularity of that book came shortly before the decline of the housing market?
Yeah.
All these people saying like, I'm going to visualize myself in that $3 million home that I can't afford.
Yes.
And the bank signs off on a mortgage.
Away you go.
And away you go. And that's sort of an illusory concept. That's deluded optimism.
Yeah.
And there are certain laws within the universe, and there are certain mystical traditions that we know how to activate, but they're not activated for material pursuits.
Yeah. Right. So this is the real secret.
Right.
This is more like the real. So
Right.
Morav, or should we be calling you M?
Yeah, call me M. That's great.
Okay, so
Everyone,
M-
my friends call me M. That's
So-
why M, as well as electromagnetic waves. And there's there's a few reasons.
Just how about electromagnificent?
M is great.
So now I know this is about a woman, and this is to bring out the the divine feminine. But would this also appeal to males to read
Sure,
this?
yeah, of course. It has. I actually wrote it. It oscillates between chapters that are very introspective and chapters that are action adventure, because I really wanted it to replicate the way that we balance knowledge. It's all the mystical traditions, all the wisdom traditions have always said, it's not just about the doing, do everything in life, and it's not just about the being, but it really is a symbiosis of the do, be, do-be.
Is that what the Doobie Brothers were all about?
I think they were a different doobie.
But it's all the same doobie.
Yeah, it came from the
Wait
same
a second,
doobie.
isn't that something you smoke?
And then
Sandra, that's ridiculous.
Did you see his face when I said your head almost came off?
I'm
good
just so
thing
surprised.
it's implanted down. It's good.
Well, it's a good thing he's got the
It's
hat, right? Yeah,
keeps you grounded. Yeah.
You should have seen your face. You have to play that back.
Well, I'm just, you're not supposed to say stuff like that, Sandra.
It's a PG show.
Yeah, it's PG.
Well, it's an herb.
It is.
Look at you.
It's
Such
organic.
a big advocate.
It's permaculture. It's permaculture. It's perma-smile culture.
Well, okay, this show's done.
We're getting off topic. Off topic.
Oh, we're on air.
Whoops.
Okay.
Wow, that sounds. Okay, How would you even go about creating that? Like, is some of this true to life? Because you're using real background, because are you from Israel?
I was born in Israel.
Okay,
yes.
so there is some real background information for you.
100%. 100%.
So that makes it that grounds it into this reality, makes it real for you. Is that
Definitely.
correct?
I mean, the young woman who's experiencing this story, it definitely is an experiential story. So as she's uncovering things, they are true to the sights, the sounds, the smells. I mean, it's a visceral experience that she's going through. So definitely, it taps into a lot of my own experiences. But then, isn't every author?
Well, that's
even you could be writing about an alien invasion in 2050. Carl Sagan wrote from his own experience, even though he had never experienced what he was writing. But definitely, yeah, it's and also that distinction between reality for an artist. I think an author, a musician, a painter, any kind of artist, that distinction between what is reality and what is creation is a very blurred line, because once it's created, it's the reality.
It's reality, yeah, yes, yeah.
So.
Well, and if we really are you create your own reality, if that's the existence we are, then there is no distinction.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
Right, Hugh?
That's right, Sandra.
You MK Ultra minded him.
He's what he's looking for.
So, okay, I have a question, but if you have a question. Okay, so how long did it take you to write this book?
3 years.
3 years?
3 years,
Wow.
yeah. 3 years of very stimulating pursuit. I enjoyed every minute of it.
Did you have blocks? Writer block? At all?
I had resistance. Yeah, I definitely had resistance come up. I had a practice, though, that one of my favorite authors, Neil Gaiman, said, if you only write when you're inspired, you'll never write. You sit down and you have a practice, and it's it became
like a discipline.
It became my spiritual practice, actually.
Okay.
I would sit down and meditate and longhand write, and usually a poem or something came out, and it was my own catharsis, my own diving into the depth of my soul and starting to create. And as I started this process, it was sort of like a piecemeal. It started being a puzzle that every time I would sit and write and put it together, and it started being a story.
So that reminds, did you have the vision of what the book was going to be before you started? Or
it was like a movie playing out in my head as I went. So as I would
But when
write,
the moment you sat down and wrote your first words, did you really have an idea of where you wanted to go with this story?
Not really. Well, even if I did, somewhere along the way, the book took its own path.
Right.
So it was almost like it told the story despite me.
Mm-hmm.
I was there.
So you were just a vehicle.
I was just a conduit, just a vessel.
What is with that? I mean, you hear that a lot from authors, that the story writes itself,
right,
and that the author is just a conduit for it.
Right.
Do you know any thoughts about what that is or where it comes from?
I believe that there are forms that exist. It's sort of the Platonic ideal of forms that already exist and are pre-existing, and we just reach up and grab them and bring them and make them into reality. Mm-hmm. And part of that is aligning ourselves with that specific form, that what Jung would call an archetype, or it already exists in the ethers, and we're just there to bring it down. And so I think anyone who's actually gone through the process of writing a book, when they say, it wasn't me, it was I did the job of having the hand that held the pen, portion, or I put my fingers on the keyboard, or whatever the physicality of it was. It's just tapping into that already existing form and bringing it in. This story wanted to be told.
Yeah.
And you got to be the one to tell it.
And I told it.
Well, I'm intrigued, especially with the idea of it, that it is a treasure hunt, and we're finding treasure that we can use in our life that's not necessarily physical, though that's disappointing.
It actually does have, it does have an inference of a physical.
Okay.
Yeah, there is actually something that's dug up in an archaeological dig. No spoiler alert, but there is something.
Did we go to Egypt in this?
No, but that's my third book.
Okay, wait a second. This is your first.
This is my first book, yes.
Okay, how do we jump number 2?
Oh, that's right. I didn't mention my second book, but great way to second. Hold on, first, third. Yeah, second is takes place in France. Takes place in the south
Is it
of
already
France.
written in?
No, it's actually November. I'm going back to France and actually finishing up book number 2. I'm calling it. Have you heard of the endeavor called NaNoWriMo? That's this initiative called National November Writing Month. So they've condensed it to make it an acronym, fancy sounding NaNoWriMo. I'm calling my own the NoNoWriMo.
Wow.
And taking myself in November to France to finish up book number 2, which takes the same character, Selena, the same protagonist, to France to uncover the Mary Magdalene ley lines, the Mary Magdalene secrets in the south of France.
So how much history do you have to know to? Because I mean, do you have to actually do some research when you do this?
Definitely, but it's really things that I enjoy learning and exposing myself to. And part of when you travel the world, you expose yourself to the history and the knowledge of that area without really, you're immersed in it. So it's not as if learning it.
It's not necessarily an intellectual process.
It's not linear
thing.
or logical.
Right.
You become immersed in it and you hear the stories that people tell, and you become integrated into it. Yeah.
So you're almost finishing that one, and you already have a third one.
That takes place in Egypt. Yeah.
How do you even know that? You haven't even finished the second one.
With Selena?
With Selena,
wow.
with Selena Silver, the main protagonist. Well, I was inspired to write actually number 3 with when there were the what was called the Arab Spring, the riots in Egypt. I was really inspired to write that because what we saw with the Arab Spring was, Marshall McLuhan said the medium is the message. What we saw was the way that social media and are the way that we communicate now, this World Wide Web, that we now communicate where the whole world is communal. We're a community. We're not separated by tribal distinctions anymore, geographic distinctions. And we
or
saw
time
how,
or space, because it's instant.
Exactly. It's instant and it's infinite as well, because once it makes its mark, it's ready to be accessed. And we saw how that Arab Spring was largely fed and fueled by the women in the background, organizing, calling people to activate certain areas, to become part of certain areas. So I really wanted to learn and to personify who was that woman. Wow. Who was that woman who took that initiative, and who was that protester? And actually, Time Magazine, I remember back that year, I think it was 2010. Normally they have the Person of the Year. This time they actually had the protester, and on the front cover of Time Magazine, it was a woman in a hijab, and she was this personification of this iconic protester. And what we're seeing is this huge shift in the Western world and in the Eastern world of women taking action.
Okay, so I just, we don't have too much time left, Em, even though I like to call you Morav better.
That's okay.
But because of everything that you've done, you've written the book, you have all this wisdom, what's going to happen to mankind in the long run?
Wow, that's
just so you know, okay, he used to ask, what's going to happen in 2012 for 2020? Okay, now that passed, he has to come up with a new question. Yeah. That's the new question.
That's my new question.
Well, I think that the next 10 years are going to look nothing like the last 10 years.
Now, go ahead.
And that could be a good thing.
Okay.
And it could be a bad thing.
Okay.
And it really depends what we do with it. I'm very optimistic. I see that there's going to be a huge shift into compassionate, communal, collaborative endeavors. I think that there's going to be some systems that topple, and we're going to see new systems emerge. And I'm optimistic. Financial, political, socio-demographic. I think that there's going to be quite a lot of change. And
so I guess MK Ultra in that world is dead.
I think in the new system it will have no place.
Okay.
It will have no place to be. The new system will not, of the social system, there won't be.
It won't support it.
It just won't support it. There won't be a possibility for it. What we're seeing is grassroots initiatives like this taking place, whereby when more of the world turns to grassroots initiatives for their social understanding or for their news or current events, then there won't be space anymore for institutionalized initiatives that come,
Well,
the structure of the pyramid structure is collapsing.
go ahead.
Okay, Morav, I don't think we can. I like Morav.
See, we're seeing two different realities here.
I think we need to have you read a paragraph from the book.
That would be great.
I would love that.
So it's got to be
Put me on the spot. I
a
haven't
real,
prepared one.
I know.
Yeah.
So just a paragraph, just to give people a taste. And is the book out? Can people get
The book
their
is
hands
out,
on
yes,
it now?
yes. Amazon.com
Okay.
or BarnesandNoble.com, Indigo.ca, any one of those
Okay,
online.
got it.
I haven't prepared, so I'm
I
going to
know.
just read the first page.
Okay.
One paragraph.
Or a few, what?
Yes, one paragraph. Yes?
Yeah.
My little bird, your questions remind me of the story of the If sisters. She didn't move from the entryway. As she spoke, her gaze drifted from me to some far-off point above my eyes and back again. Her voice was soothing, soft and caressing, like a gentle ripple of wind on my skin. Her accent turned each word into a longer version of itself. The sisters were called What If Yes, and If No. Just like you, they never tired of their questions. Just like you, they would not trust anything they knew to be true. Just like you, they danced the dance of doubt. Her gaze held mine. They were born of the seed of fate and the womb of chance. Beautiful were those sisters, captivating. How they danced. They would hypnotize all who watched them. Always the same dance, the same steps, the same rhythm. What if would start, if yes would twirl, if no would turn. As the waves of the sea crashed to meet the shore, the sisters continued to eternity. Questions were asked, answers were given, but the sisters still twirled and turned in their ifs. The sisters danced in a circle of questions until they were mad. And fate and chance mourned their daughters, who asked the questions but never accepted the answers.
Wow.
That's heavy. It reminds me of quantum physics.
Wow, that's beautiful and beautifully read. Are you doing any book signings or book readings in the near future?
Don't have any booked, but I will be having. You should check my my website, mrichter.com. I'll update that.
mrichter.com?
emrichter.com. mrichter, like electromagnetic.
Magnificent.
And Facebook, I love Facebook because I love that collaboration and I love that communicative aspect. I love my tribe on Facebook. Wonderful, wonderful people. So Facebook, Richter. I also run the initiative called The Gift of the Goddess on Facebook, so you can
And you're
reach
going to
me
be here
there.
talking about that another time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd
The
love
goddess work that
to
you
come
do?
back
Yeah.
to talk about the goddess work I do. Yeah,
That
I'd love
would be
that.
great.
I would love that.
to do that too. So let's do that.
God and goddess. So we're not excluding males, are we?
It's the divine feminine has nothing to do with gender. It has to do with the energies that are within us, that are coming out within both male and female. So actually my initiative, The Gift of the Goddess, is paying homage to Joseph Campbell's work. Joseph Campbell, who wrote The Hero's Journey, had the threshold between the known and the unknown world in The Hero's Journey was met by a benevolent female deity, or deity, some people call it one or the other, who would gift the hero with some sort of supernatural gift, whether it be an amulet or rubies or some sort of knowledge. And that was really stepping through that archetypal hero's journey from the known to the unknown world. That was my homage to the gift of the goddess. So it really is part of all of our existence, part of our lifetime is always the hero's journey. And at one point we always accept the gift of the goddess and go on into the unknown worlds.
Wow.
Okay, well, we can't wait to come back
Beautiful.
and have a big, long discussion about that, Anne, but thanks for coming here today. There's
You're
the book.
very welcome. Thank you
What
very
a
much.
great
Secret
conversation.
of the Storyteller, and people can go to your website, emrichter.com.
Yes,
and,
thank you.
Links, I assume, there to Amazon and other places where they can get the book.
That's right. Yep.
Okay, well, thanks for doing this
Thank you
today.
very much. Thank
Wow,
you.
thank you, Em.
Thanks.
Wow, beautiful.
We're going to just take a little break. We got the video about the Obama's shape-shifting bodyguard, and we're going to come back with Jane talking about what's happening here at ThatChannel this Friday.
Awesome.
Right after this.
Yay. I didn't know that.
One of the lucky 7. And he'll tell you he was shot 4 times on that day, and he has 3 bullets that are still inside him. And when I asked him about what he thought we should be doing, he said, I'm not here because of what happened to me. I'm here because of what happened to me keeps happening to other people. Do something about it. We will. I promise you, we will. This is our intention. We must do what we can now. And there's no person who is more committed to acting on this moral obligation we have than the President of the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Please have a seat. Good afternoon, everybody. Let me begin by thanking for your dedication to this issue, for bringing so many different voices to the table, because while reducing gun violence is a complicated challenge, protecting from harm shouldn't be a divisive one.
What's going on, reptilitards? Gotcha, huh? Can't believe you guys actually believe that. Seriously, man. Reptiles. Shape-shifting. You know, there's important issues to be worried about, guys, instead of reptiles. Shape-shifting. Maybe like the disarmament of the American public. But no. You guys are worried about reptiles. Shape-shifting. Come on. Do yourself a favor and slap yourself. Snap out of it.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message because I believe we're all...
We've got Jane joining us here. Hi, Jane.
Hi, Hugh. Hi,
Hello,
Sandra.
Jane.
Did you turn your phone down?
I did. I figured it out.
That is a spectacular necklace.
Without the instructions. Thank you.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Thank you very much.
The necklace, the red and or fuchsia, it was beautiful.
Thanks.
Very, very Octoberish.
What's it made out of?
Crystals.
And maybe
colored crystals.
pewter steel or something, whatever that is called.
I wore it because it matches
it beautifully.
My shirt.
Glittering gold, all that glitters.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Just trying to look like a rock star today.
Good.
That's because you are.
Not really.
Not?
No,
it's the
not
divine
really.
feminine.
I'm a rock star wannabe.
Are you?
That's right, and that's why this Friday you're having an event where you get to get on the stage and sing some songs.
I can be the star. That's right.
So you know what? You're just bringing it to you. Talk about create your own reality.
That's right. See, in reality, in my reality, I am actually a rock star. So, at least I feel like one when I have a microphone in my hand. So.
And when you wear things like that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Dress for success, baby.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, so what's happening Friday here?
What's happening Friday nights is we have a show here starting called Friday Night Live. And I just like the kind of copycat gimmick on the, on Saturday Night Live, right? You get it, right? You understood why I chose the name.
I never drew the parallel.
No,
but it's not improv though, is it?
There's an improvisational aspect of it, in a sense, involved because it's a jam. So that's what people do when they musical jam. Yeah. It's really an open mic for any type of almost any type of a performance.
Okay.
So where, to give you a little bit of history, because I like to do that, It used to be called Soberoki, and it was actually a karaoke for the target market, I guess you'd call it. It was non-drinkers, because there's a lot of people that don't drink that want somewhere to rock out, right?
Nice,
so
nice.
I started actually developing it as a community room, and trying to involve or incorporate things like creativity and music workshops and a games room and things like that. But it was really challenging to find a venue where I could do all of those things under one roof. And so, and all in a place where no alcohol was served. That was the key. Because I disagree with the fact that in order to get people to support live music in the city of Toronto, or anywhere for that matter, that there has to be alcohol sales involved.
Isn't that interesting?
So it's really using the band's talent, like no beer, no gig, like no beer sales, and you're never getting hired back there again, right?
And
so
it really,
it's all
it really lowers
dependent on.
appreciation for music.
You would think like breweries and like liquor companies would invest into promoting local bands.
Yeah.
Because they're really the only ones that are actually benefiting anyway. So there's a lot of talent in Toronto. Some say that Toronto is saturated with musicians, and I just want to be able to provide somewhere that these people can come and promote themselves, gain exposure to their material and their talents,
and for the people
without
not to be so
having
drunk
it
they
have
remember
to.
it the next day.
Well, that's the other thing too. I mean, people say, "Oh, I have to have a few drinks before I can get up and sing." Well, in fact, people actually sound better when they're not drinking. And I'm sure you know this, but I always like to say,
no, never mind.
Well, they do.
Yeah.
They sound.
I'm not going there, Jane.
People, when they've had a few drinks, tend to sing off key. They sound pitchy. And it's largely due to lack of oxygen flow in their brain. Really? Alcohol actually displaces oxygen in your bloodstream.
Wow.
So if you think about it, someone who's had too much to drink really is ill prepared for a proper vocal performance involving appropriate breathing and so on like
remembering the lines.
You know,
there is that, you know.
So anyway.
La, 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 la.
I had a singer in my band once. She needed to drink 2 bottles of wine just to get
bottles,
her voice going.
not glasses.
Yeah.
Oh my God. She must have been a very happy singer.
I'll tell you what, we practiced for months and months, and then we were getting ready for our first
Did it get
gig.
any better?
She didn't show up for the first gig.
Because she hadn't drank her wine that day?
Whatever
maybe?
the reason
I
was,
don't know.
it was
See,
the last gig.
Wow.
So that's just corroborating your
So
your
in terms of
story.
Sanders' question about improvisation, it's not just karaoke and a jam. If somebody wants to get up and do
comedy or
stand-up comedy or spoken word, or I mean, they could possibly even tap dance, I suppose, if they wanted to, or twirl a baton.
You know,
although I don't think there'll be any comers in those categories necessarily.
Are you going to have a gong?
You never know.
Just in case?
You know what? I was thinking about that the last Friday when we had that warm-up practice and the sound check and stuff, and you were singing.
Oh, see? You need a gong
so
for
thought
that.
of the gong show, because you remember he had that big hook and he would drag people off the stage?
Hugh, that was a dig. I just want you to know. But you know what else might be good is if it is in line with Saturday Night Live, you also might invite some improv groups if they want to test some material. Like obviously, if the stage can fit a band, it can fit 3 or 4 people to do skits.
It, exactly. I mean, it's really limitless in that sense, and unique in the sense that it will be live streaming to the internet on ThatChannel.com.
Right.
And the performers that come here and the bands that are featured, or anybody that performs for that matter, has the option of us videotaping their performance. and it'll be a camera that's just on the stage. So, you know, if people don't want to be seen on the internet, that's not an issue. Each person that's going up on the stage will have the choice of being live streamed or not. If somebody doesn't want to, we could flip to a video or something,
Well,
right?
you'll have to explain me how that works from a technical
Yeah,
perspective
okay,
later
sure.
today.
I was hoping that you'd fill me in on that, Hugh.
Well, it's, from
this
my
is
point of
Hugh
view, it's
Riley
impossible.
of that chat. Really? We'll figure it out.
I can't imagine, if you're going on stage, I can't imagine anybody would object to live streaming.
No,
because
I
the
think
whole
that's
point
why
of going
people
on
will come
stage-
here.
Yeah.
I think it's the whole reason people will come here.
And you know what, the idea is not, it's to have fun, right?
Yeah.
That's at the
It is.
end
Yeah.
of the day.
And I know a lot of musicians. I've been actually personally involved in the local music industry here for a number of years now, doing volunteer work with festivals, big festivals too, and working with bands and booking bands, and I've actually produced a few shows myself. So point being is that they laugh at karaoke. These musicians that I know, they mostly just, they like, you know, that's not for real performers and so on and so forth, right? And it's just sort of this love-hate kind of thing that, you know. But then sometimes I'm able to convince a musician to actually try karaoke, and they say, wow, you know what, that was a lot of fun.
Like what I was doing last Friday.
Yeah.
You did
and
karaoke?
we actually, I had a hard time getting the microphone away from Hugh because he was having such a good time.
What songs?
Well, I did my stand, what do you call that? Standby, my old standby.
Your old standby?
Which is?
Katy Perry, I Kissed a Girl. Always do that one first.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I got into some Pure Prairie League. Some
How many
U2.
What did you do for U2?
The Real Thing.
Wow.
It was actually pretty good. It's actually
Wow. So you
good.
sing? I didn't
Yeah.
think you. I didn't think.
Oh yeah, but that's the secret, really. And I don't know what you think about this, Jane, but the secret is really finding the right song for you.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Because and those ones I know, certain songs I know are good ones for me.
Yeah.
And I picked some of those. I picked a few that I didn't know.
You know, everybody needs to do a bad song.
We sang. What was that? Ace of Base.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
you chose that one.
I Saw the Sign.
Yeah.
That was fun.
It was fun.
I'd never sang it before in my life.
And how'd that go?
Terrible.
See,
it was terrible.
See, everybody has to do a bad song.
Well, you don't worry. There'll probably be a lot.
There'll probably be a lot of them.
Yeah. But you got to really pick the ones. If you want to do good, you got to pick the songs that are right for you. The ones that feel right. The ones that are in your range.
In your natural range. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you have to know the song really well so that you don't have to focus on the lyrics. You can actually focus on moving around and having fun.
It's important to get the rhythm right.
Yeah.
Because if you lose the rhythm, then you lose everybody.
Yeah. And the other aspect, too, is that we have, because we are a high-tech operation here at ThatChannel.com, we can just turn the karaoke sound down and leave the words up and then have a band join in if they know the song instead. Because really karaoke gets a bad rap because those are like studio, not even studio produced, they're like mechanically produced tracks. They're not, I don't know what the right word is for that, but they're not, it's not real music.
So Jane, is there going to be a band?
There is going to be a band.
Who's going to be here for the band?
Friday night on November the 1st at the party, I have invited and he has accepted. He's one of my personal favorite local musicians here in Toronto. His name is Dan McLean Jr. And you don't look like you've ever heard of him, but he's actually fairly well known. And unique to our situation here is that he actually used to work at PA Plus,
which is
in
next
this
door.
building.
Yeah.
And Greg from PA Plus is our DJ going forward. So he's got like a full karaoke rig and like turntables and black lights and like video on the ceiling and lights and so Dan McLean Jr. is good friends with Greg and also with Gabor next door at PA Plus.
Which we should
it's
plug.
all
So PA
really,
Plus,
really
they
cool.
gave us the PA system
yes,
here.
That's right.
And so we we want to promote them, and they
That's
provide
right.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
PA-plus.com, the website. Okay,
You know
so
what, I
but
think-
wait.
Okay.
Dan McLean Jr. is just one person. Does he have a whole band?
He's his own. He sings his own original music, and he plays the electric acoustic.
But does he have a band, or is it
guitar.
just him?
It's him. He's a solo
All right.
act.
So I'm
Do you
gonna
need
try
a bass player?
to bring our band out. I'm gonna try
So
to bring
Yeah,
yeah,
I
we're
knew
hoping
that. I
to
knew that's
get
what he was
Hugh
doing.
Riley's band in here. I forget what they're called. Plug?
Banana 14.
Oh yeah, Banana 14. Why? Where did you get that name?
Because Banana 13 was taken.
Yeah.
That's not the real reason. I want Hugh to tell us.
Banana is an acronym, but we don't want to talk about it.
Blaum.
Blaum.
That's one way of pronouncing the word banana in another. Maybe it's one of those mystical goddess wisdom languages.
Yeah, probably is.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, did you have a question?
Well, yeah, I was just going to say, when we were talking to Em earlier, we were talking about alignment, because you were asking her about, I forget what you were asking her, because I was really only listening to her.
Well, I talk a lot.
We were talking about moving into, how do you be a vehicle? That's what you're asking here. You're saying, how do you be this? How does that happen? How do you just, the book writes itself, or the music writes itself, or the sculpture forms itself? And Morav was talking, or Am was talking about moving into alignment, right? And when you were said he happened to have worked at this building and then happens to know this person, that popped into my head. I thought, that's alignment. That's how you know it's meant to be, right? When you have those kinds of synchronicities.
This event itself coming to fruition is symbolic of my own personal journey.
Okay.
Journey, not to be corny, but it really truly is.
Wow.
I was in a community meeting here at the space, and they asked me what brought me here, and I told them a bit about my background and said basically I manifested this. This is I alluded to it earlier, looking for a space where I could do all of the things that I want to do, which is why I came to 160 Bartley Drive. I met Hugh Riley in the first place, and got really, really excited when I saw the possibilities here, and it's just a fit with who I really am and what I really truly want to do.
So you're moving into alignment.
Business and corporate and legal background, for goodness sake. I mean, most people look at me and go, really? Thought you were an artist.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I am.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and so I was going to say too, is that when I originally planned this whole thing, I was going to be selling food, but it was food that I cooked. And I was going to be selling merchandise, but it was going to be merchandise that I made, and it was all about me. And I wanted to have control over every little aspect of the show. And as I have evolved, as I like to think of it, is that I've been giving pieces of it away so that it can actually happen.
Wow.
So I'm recruiting people. I'm in this process. I should say my main fear was actually hosting the event and being the person on the mic to and cue up the music and and up here I can do it, but it's not a role that I want really, right? So I come to this space and meet all kinds of people, all kinds of creative people, all kinds of musicians. We've got equipment here now. Somebody else is bringing drums. Somebody else is bringing a guitar amp. Musicians are volunteering to show up. Greg from PA Plus goes, oh, well, I used to be a karaoke host, and I have all the and the lights and sure, yeah, I'll bring it. And I said, I can't, it's volunteer to start, right? Voluntary. Anyway, it's just all coming together.
Wow,
it's
isn't
just
that
all coming
beautiful?
together. Yeah.
So what time does it start on Friday?
8 o'clock,
8
Friday,
o'clock.
November 1st.
Okay.
160 Bartley Drive, accessible 24 hours on the TTC.
That's right. And if you can't be here in person, then you can catch it on
That's
right
right.
here at ThatChannel.com.
Or come the following Friday.
And we're going to tape it anyway. So
we're going to tape it anyway. So you'll be able to see
relive the fabulous moments of karaoke and live performances.
And God knows what.
And who knows what's
Well,
going to happen.
it's not really. Karaoke is an element in it of it,
Yeah.
but it's not mainly karaoke.
No, we don't know what's going to happen.
That's what it could be. Anything.
It would be nice if a magician came and did some magician.
That'd be really cool. We probably know
Poker?
one.
What did you say, Em? Spoken word poetry. I thought you said poker. She was
We can play poker.
mouthing.
And actually, there's a games room as well, so there's Trivial Pursuit, chess, checkers,
Maybe we can have a poker tournament. But no,
cards.
spoken word poetry would be another beautiful thing to bring on stage, wouldn't it?
Well, we'll see what happens.
Spoken word poetry.
Absolutely, yeah.
And couldn't we have like
I said
what
that.
are those? Oh, you did those jams, poetry jams or something?
Yes, I know
Poetry
somebody that
slam.
does that.
It's called a
actually.
poetry slam.
Yeah, I
I
know
don't-
somebody that works at Second City. He or at Yuck Yucks rather. He hosts downtown on Friday nights. I should get him to come.
Wow, that would be a lot of fun. I heard
Yeah.
those are really popular right now.
Yeah, it is
actually.
very popular right now.
Okay.
But we have
Okay.
no mosh pit. No mosh pit.
Yeah, no moshing. Greg says he has a lot of great dance music though, and I listed off some of my personal favorites, and he had those, so we'll be good.
Wow.
We'll be good to go.
Okay, good.
As long as I've got my
Your what?
my favorites.
If they're going to be your favorites, chances are there are others too, because
Yeah.
we all really like the same stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, Jane, is
Okay.
there any web address other than thatchannel.com you want to give? Is there a Facebook group or anything like that?
There is a group on Facebook. It's called Friday Night Live at thatchannel.com.
And it's open to all ages, right?
It is.
Because it's not
also,
drinking.
That's
it's-
important, thank you. It's also an all ages event. So if you want to bring your youth, especially if they're musicians, that would be absolutely fantastic.
But
I
you can all the way up
suspect,
to
though-
60 if you want to do something, right?
No, nobody over 60.
Oh, yeah, right.
Okay, Hugh.
Just kidding, of course. Just because you said 60. Why 60?
Well,
So your
70
band's
then.
not going to perform then?
We're not allowed. Don't meet the criteria. Okay, that's great, Jane. Thanks for doing this.
Okay.
Okay, that's it for the show.
Wow, sounds good. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yes, okay.
Thanks, everybody. Okay, we're going to go out with a, do you have that song? Are those songs ready to go?
The
Can we
Boss
do-
Life?
Yeah, can we do Boss Life, the full song by DT? I put it in the, okay, let's go out with that. And thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time right here at thatchannel.com.
Awesome show.
48 GNC Protege Records presents Boss Life.
Got a villa on the hill with a view so nice. Pool in the back overlooking the heights. Gate open wide, park the car. Lady of the house come out and greet me like a star. Relaxing on wine, live life so divine. Champagne in the glass while we spending some time. Life's good, who could ask for better? Candlelight dinner in the house together. Sexy convo, lady looking real nice. If I had to do it over, do the same thing twice. Boss life, yeah, we live and we learn. Got money in the bank, so much more to earn. Boss car, boss lady, living boss life. Diamond in the pocket, make her a boss wife. All white, looking right, future so bright. Let me introduce you to my boss life.
Boss life, we live it every day. Work hard on the grind just to get the pay. Boss life, we live in boss life. Boss life, we live it every day. Work hard on the grind just to get the pay. Boss life, we live in boss life.
Yeah. No, everybody live their own boss life. I like nice cars, big crib, boss wife. When it comes to spending money, do it all night. Once my family eating dog, everything is alright. Now overseas, it's penthouse views with the trees. 5-star chick with a reach, cool champagne, and everything you see on TV. Oh God, who would believe? Look, I never thought I would make it this far. With a lot of hard work and the blessing from the Lord. I got my mama in the back screaming, I'll go get them all. Now DT got me on the stage in front of y'all. Woo! Boss life. We live it every day, we work hard on the grind just to get this pay. Anybody in here is a boss like me? Put your hands in the air, sing along with me. Boss life,
we live it every day. Work hard on the grind just to get the pay. Boss life, we live in boss life. Boss life, we live it every day. Work hard on the grind just to get the pay. Boss life, we live in boss life.
Yo, no man achieved greatness in his life without going through some hardship. But through perseverance, determination, and belief. You all can have this.
Pull up on the strip, take a shopping for the day. Boss lady in my life, never worry about the pay. Sex on the beach, all we do is play. No cares in the world, my hair ain't gray. Jet ski on the sea, dive in for a dip. Long drive on the road in a luxury whip. Four-wheeler on a tour, lady at my back. Boss life, yeah, we living like that.
Boss life, we live it every day. Work hard on the grind just to get the pay. Boss life, we live in boss life. Boss life, we live it every day. Work hard on the grind just to get the pay. Boss life, we live in boss life. Boss life, we live it every day. Work hard on the grind just to get the pay. Boss life, we live in boss life. Boss life, we live it every day. Work hard on the grind just to get the pay. Boss life, we live in boss life.